Have you ever felt a shiver run down your spine while walking alone at night? A sudden, inexplicable feeling that you're being watched? Or maybe you've heard a story so chilling, so strangely believable, that it sticks with you long after you've heard it. These are the whispers in the dark, the tales told around campfires and passed down through generations. These are urban legends, and tonight, we're pulling back the curtain to unravel their dark secrets. What makes these stories so powerful? It's their proximity to our reality. They don't happen in haunted castles or faraway lands. They happen in the back seats of cars, in college dorm rooms, in our own neighborhoods. They tap into our deepest, most primal fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of what lurks just outside the safety of our homes, and the terrifying idea that the mundane world around us isn't as safe as we think. Let's start with a classic, one you've probably heard in some form. The legend of the babysitter and the man upstairs. A teenage girl is babysitting for the night. The kids are asleep upstairs. The phone rings. A gravelly voice on the other end whispers, "Have you checked the children?" The babysitter dismisses it as a prank call, but he calls again and again. Each time, his voice is more menacing. Terrified, she calls the police. The operator tells her they'll trace the next call, but to keep him on the line as long as possible. The phone rings again. The man's voice is cold. "Have you checked the children?" After a tense conversation, she hangs up. Almost immediately, the operator calls back, her voice filled with panic. "Get out of the house now. The calls are coming from inside the house." Chilling, right? This story preys on the vulnerability of being alone in a strange house, responsible for others. It became wildly popular in the 1970s, a time when anxieties about social change and stranger danger were on the rise. The legend's power lies in its simple, terrifying premise. The threat isn't outside, it's already in. Variations of this story exist everywhere, a testament to its universal appeal and its ability to morph and adapt to our shared anxieties. Now, let's venture into the digital age with a more modern legend, Slenderman. Born on an internet forum in 2009, Slenderman is a tall, faceless figure in a black suit, depicted as stalking, abducting, or traumatizing people, particularly children. What started as a couple of photoshopped images spiraled into a massive, collaborative fiction. People created stories, artwork, and even video series, all contributing to the mythos. Slenderman represents a new kind of urban legend, one born and bred online. It shows how the internet can act as a digital campfire, allowing stories to spread faster and wider than ever before. But this legend took a dark turn, bleeding from the digital world into the real one with tragic consequences, reminding us of the profound impact these stories can have, especially on impressionable minds. From the internet, we travel to the open road, home to countless ghostly tales. One of the most enduring is the Vanishing Hitchhiker. A driver picks up a lone hitchhiker on a dark, lonely road. The hitchhiker is often a young woman who seems distressed. She gives the driver an address. When they arrive, the driver turns to speak to her, only to find the passenger seat empty. Confused, the driver goes to the door. An older person answers, and upon hearing the story, sadly explains that the driver has just given a ride to the ghost of their daughter, who died in a car crash on that very road years ago. This story has roots going back centuries, a modern update of old folktales about helpful spirits or ghostly encounters. It speaks to our collective grief, our longing for one last goodbye, and the haunting presence of the past on the landscapes we travel every day. But not all legends are about ghosts or monsters. Some are about us. Take the legend of the killer in the back seat. A woman is driving home alone at night. A car behind her starts flashing its high beams, tailgating her aggressively. She's terrified, convinced she's being targeted by a maniac. She speeds up, trying to lose him, but he stays right on her tail, flashing his lights over and over. She finally pulls into her driveway, jumps out of her car, and runs for the house. The other driver pulls in behind her, gets out, and yells, "Lock the door and call the police." When the police arrive, the truth is revealed. The driver behind her wasn't trying to terrorize her. He was trying to save her. Every time he flashed his high beams, he could see the silhouette of a man with a knife rising up from her back seat. He was scaring the attacker back down. This story plays on our fear of being stalked, but with a twist. The real threat was hidden in plain sight, in a place we consider safe, our own car. The perceived threat was actually a savior. It's a brilliant piece of storytelling that subverts our expectations and leaves us questioning our own judgment. So why do we tell these stories? What purpose do they serve? Urban legends are more than just scary tales. They are cautionary tales, modern-day fables that reflect the anxieties of our time. Don't talk to strangers. Always check the back seat. Be careful who you trust online. They are a way for society to process its fears in a safe narrative form. They validate our anxieties, assuring us that we're not alone in feeling uneasy about the world. They're a form of social commentary, wrapped in a spooky package. The legend of tainted Halloween candy, for example, reflects parental fears about the safety of their children in an increasingly complex world. Furthermore, telling and listening to these stories is a communal experience. It creates a bond. Think about it, the thrill of huddling together, sharing a scare, the nervous laughter afterward. It's a rush of adrenaline from the safety of our homes. In a way, urban legends are a rite of passage, a part of our cultural DNA that connects us to the generations that came before us, who told their own versions of these same fundamental stories. They are living, breathing narratives that evolve with us. The core fears remain the same: fear of the unknown, loss of control, the hidden dangers in everyday life, but the details change. The man upstairs becomes a hacker spying through your webcam. The Vanishing Hitchhiker's story is shared on a GPS forum. The next time you hear a story that makes the hair on your arm stand up, that seems just a little too real, take a moment to think about it. What fear is it tapping into? What warning is it trying to give? Because hidden within these dark tales are not just monsters and ghosts, but reflections of ourselves, our societies, and the anxieties that haunt us all. They remind us that sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that feel like they could happen to you. So, lock your doors, check your backseat, and maybe think twice before clicking on that strange link. Because you never know when a legend might feel a little too real. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the shadows. If you enjoyed unraveling these dark secrets, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the unknown. Stay safe and sleep tight.